Hey guys, it's Raul again, bringing to you today my monthly recommendations. Monthly Recommendations is a group created by Trina from Between Chapters and Kayla Rain. I will link both of their pages down below as well to the Goodreads group page for this group. So Monthly Recommendations is basically just a group of us kind of recommending books to you guys every month depending on the certain theme for the month. So this month's theme is underrated books, or books that we feel need a little bit more love here on BookTube, or people haven't really talked about too much. So this is my little list of kind of books that I feel need a little bit more attention here. So let's do this. And the first book on my list of underrated books is Watchers by Dean Koontz. This book is in a genre that I feel kind of isn't really talked about much here on BookTube to begin with, and that is the horror genre. A lot of people kind of, I guess, tend to stay away from horror because they don't really enjoy horror or are a little scared to kind of really delve into this kind of thing. I really enjoy horror. I really enjoyed this book. This is basically about a dog and a creature that escaped from a laboratory and are kind of out on the loose. The creature is very violent and the dog is extremely smart. They've gotten experimented on, and that's how they kind of were created. And it revolves around this man and this woman that kind of come together and the horrors that are kind of happening around them. This book surprisingly contained one of my favorite love stories I have ever read, ever. The author starts off at the beginning of the book kind of telling us what their backstories are and kind of who these people are and introducing them and their stories individually, and then eventually they kind of come together and then they form this great relationship. I felt like the writing was really good. The story was done really well. This relationship was built really well. It wasn't insta-lovey at all. It really took its time to kind of grow, and I really enjoyed it. I loved it. I loved, like I said, the horror aspect that's kind of going on around them. I don't think anybody that's really scared too easily will really get scared much on this book. It's not in-your-face horror. Like, it's not super violent or gruesome. Like, there isn't, like, anything technically, like, supernatural going on. So it's not something that I think would really create nightmares in people. But it is creepy. I mean, it is, a thriller. It is something that, will kind of keep you on the edge of your seat while reading. Solely for this love story that you guys picked this up for, definitely do it. Because, like I said, I feel like this was such a great love story that was entwined within this whole story of this creature and the super smart dog and kind of everything that happens. And by the end of this story, you just absolutely love every character. I didn't want anybody to die in this thing. It was so good, so well done, and it's definitely a book that I really haven't heard a lot of people talking about here on BookTube. So if you guys are interested at all in this book, I would definitely check it out. Even if it's just solely for the love story that's going on in this book. Definitely one that you guys need to check out. The next book recommendation that I have is Maximum Ride by James Patterson, and this is the manga adaptation of it. James Patterson has written all of the books in this series already, and these kind of were adapted in these manga versions of it. If you guys enjoy Japanese anime at all or graphic novels, this is definitely a series that you guys need to pick up. I don't know why I haven't really heard anybody talking about this book on BookTube at all. When I first got these volumes, I kind of searched on YouTube to kind of see what people thought about them, and I didn't really find anything about it. So I don't know why they haven't gotten picked up. I feel like it's really well done, really well written. I love the characters, and I talked about it a little bit more in my July wrap-up, kind of my thoughts and feels, and, going into a little bit more detail about what the story is about. So if you want to check that out, I'll link it down below for you guys. But I don't know. I mean, I think my main reason why people aren't picking these books up is because they are a little pricey. I mean, even on Amazon, they're still about like $10 each volume, and it is something that you can just read in one sitting, so that might be it. I don't know. But if you do think they're a little pricey or you can't afford them, definitely check them out from the library. I know my local library has them, and it's definitely something that I've been enjoying so far. I just finished Volume 2 last night, and I've just been loving this series and everything about it. The artwork, the story, the characters, just so great. If you guys enjoy graphic novels at all or any Japanese anime, this is definitely something that I would recommend you guys checking out because it doesn't really get much love here on BookTube. So, yeah. Another book in my underrated kind of recommendations is also in the horror genre, and that is Full Dark No Stars by Stephen King. This is the compilation of 4 short stories by Stephen King that I absolutely loved. I've read other things by Stephen King before, and this has by far been the best thing that I've read from him so far. I do not know why I enjoyed his short stories way more than I did his like full-length novels. I just felt like they were so well done. They were very quick to get through, and if you guys aren't kind of skeeved out by, you know, horror or some things that are very gruesome, this is definitely something that I would pick up. This is definitely a little bit more violent than my other horror recommendation. There isn't really love stories, you know, happening in this thing. So I would go in here cautiously if you tend to get scared a little bit quicker, because there are some like really gruesome scenes in this book. But I loved it. I really enjoyed it. I loved these short stories, and I thought they were awesome. Like I said, it's my favorite Stephen King book that I've read so far, and it's something that I really haven't heard a lot of people talk about. I'm assuming because of the genre. So definitely, if you enjoy horror, pick this one up because it's great. And the last two books that I have in my list of August recommendations for underrated books is the Avalon duology by Mindy Arnett. This series I absolutely love. I really enjoyed it. It's a young adult sci-fi duology. It doesn't have kind of your typical young adult storyline. I loved it so much, I feel, because it was different from a lot of the young adult that I had been reading recently. You kind of, with young adult, get kind of one or two storylines, and it's either the main character falls in love, and there's kind of a thread, and it's, you know, that main character being fueled by that love for that person that they just met, or it's either, you know, person does not know that they have a certain ability and then find out later that they do, and then they are thrust into this brand new world with these new abilities that they did not know that they had. And I don't mind those storylines, like, don't get me wrong. Love those things that are going on between, you know, this character development and finding out all these new things, but this was very different. I feel like I loved it so much because it was kind of, you know, breath of fresh air amongst all of the other young adult books that have been written out there, released. I really loved it. If you guys enjoy young adult sci-fi at all, this is definitely a series that I would check out. The writing is very simple, very easy to get through, and very easy to follow. I loved it. I also did a full review on this duology, so I won't really get into too much detail about what it's about and everything, because I kind of already talked about it in my review. So if you want to check it out, or if it interests you at all, young adult sci-fi, then it's definitely, you know, something worth looking at. I loved these, like I said, and I would definitely recommend these just because it's different from a lot of the other young adult books that I have read, and I absolutely loved these. So yeah, guys, that is it for my August recommendations for this month. I hope you enjoyed it. If you guys have read any of these books, please let me know in the comments below, or if you guys are now thinking about picking up some of these books, please let me know. I would love to kind of discuss these books with you guys because, like I said, these aren't books that are really talked about too much in the booktube community. So let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys next time.